You lift, you show up, you put in time that most men won't, and you've built something real. Chest, shoulders, maybe a solid back. But then you roll up your sleeves and the story falls apart. Slim, smooth, almost decorative arms that betray everything the rest of your body is trying to say. That gap between what you've built and what people actually see. That's the problem we're fixing today. Here's the thing, I've watched men train for years and completely neglect one of the most visible indicators of physical development on the human body. Not because they're lazy, because nobody told them the truth about how this actually works. Most people treat lower arm training like an afterthought. A few wrist curls at the end of a session, already running on empty, already thinking about what they're eating after. That's not a plan. That's a ritual that makes you feel productive without actually producing anything. Let's talk about what these muscles actually signal. A blacksmith has them, a rock climber has them, a surgeon has them. There is a reason every culture, every cura, every archetype of competent male strength has associated thick, veined, developed lower arms with the idea of a man who actually does things. They are the most honest part of the body. You cannot fake them with a pump, you cannot hide them under a shirt. They are permanently on display, and they either back up your claim or they don't. Now the honest part, because respect goes both ways. Genetics matter here more than almost anywhere else in the body. The length of your muscle belly, where your tendons insert, the natural thickness of your bone structure, none of that changes. If your father had narrow wrists and slim lower arms, you are not going to look like a blacksmith no matter what you do. What you can do is maximize what you have. And the gap between your current state and your genetic ceiling is almost certainly much larger than you think. Most men never get close to that ceiling because they train this area wrong, inconsistently, or not at all. What you can genuinely change is muscular volume, definition, and vascular development. The muscles involved, the flexors on the underside, the extensors on top, the brachioradialis running along the outer edge, all respond to mechanical stress just like any other muscle. They adapt, they grow, they harden. The issue is, they require direct, consistent, and intelligently programmed stress to do it, because compound movements alone do not provide enough stimulus to develop them fully. Now let's kill some myths. The grip trainer you squeeze while watching. Television does not build significant mass. It builds endurance in one plane of motion. Useful, not transformative. Wrist rollers are not gimmicks, but the way most men use them, too light, too fast, without controlling the eccentric, makes them nearly useless. The viral one weird trick content you have probably seen will not replace a structured approach. Best case, those tools add marginal stimulus. Worst case, you strain something and lose 2 weeks of training. Neither outcome is acceptable. Here are the rules. Train this area 2 to 3 times per week, never on consecutive days. Volume per session should sit between 3 and 5 sets of direct work. Intensity should be high enough that the last 2 reps of a set are genuinely difficult. If you are breezing through your sets, you are not training, you are moving weight. There is a difference. Stop a set if you feel sharp pain at the wrist joint, not the muscle. Discomfort in the belly of the muscle is training. Pain in the joint is damage. Your daily habits are doing more to your development than your gym sessions are, and not in a good way. If you sit at a desk for 8 hours with your wrists in flexion, constantly typing, constantly gripping a phone, those muscles are chronically shortened and overworked before you even touch a barbell. Spending 5 minutes on wrist extension stretches and mobility work before training will allow you to load more effectively and reduce injury risk significantly. It is not glamorous advice, it is the advice that actually works. Here is something visual to lock this in. Imagine your lower arm as a braided rope. Each individual strand is a muscle fiber. A thin rope has a few strands, loosely wound. A thick rope has dozens, tightly packed. The difference between those 2 ropes is not genetics alone, it is tension, volume, and time under load applied correctly and consistently. Your job is to add strands and tighten the weave. The piece most men completely skip is training the extensors, the muscles on the top of your lower arm, the ones responsible for pulling your hand back toward your forearm. Everyone trains the flexors because the pump feels good and the exercises are intuitive. But the extensors are half the visual mass of that limb, and they are almost never directly targeted. Add reverse curls and reverse wrist curls to your rotation, and you will notice a difference in overall thickness within 4 to 6 weeks. That is not hype. That is simple anatomy responding to stimulus it has never received before. This area responds quickly when trained correctly. Faster than your chest, faster than your legs. Because the muscles are small, they adapt in shorter cycles. You can see meaningful change in 6 to 8 weeks of consistent direct work. Not a transformation, a legitimate, visible, measurable change. Now the part where I ask you to be honest with yourself. Are you eating enough protein to support muscle growth anywhere on your body? Are you sleeping? Are you actually recovering between sessions? Because none of the technique in this whole world overrides a body that is chronically underfed and underrested. If your total body development has stalled, your lower arms are not a special case. They are a symptom of broader issues that need to be addressed first. The men who develop impressive lower arms are not doing anything mysterious. They train them directly, frequently, and with genuine effort. They control the eccentric phase of every rep instead of letting the weight drop. They use a full range of motion instead of abbreviated movements that protect their ego but not their progress. They are consistent for months, not weeks. Mastery of any muscle group is not a secret. It is showing up, applying intelligent pressure, and refusing to accept the version of yourself that stopped before the ceiling. Now go train.